Melvindale on sportsradiodetroit.com, on FrediThePizza.com, and on Periscope. I'm your host, Roger Steele. Alongside me, Dan Griffin, David Faust, Pete, and Mr. Rick Meyer over here, Fredi the Pizza Man.
Joe Montana.
Sorry.
Wait a second. I'm old, man. Joe Montana.
One and the same.
No. Rick Meyer probably posting up. He's probably working at some fast food restaurant somewhere. Okay, guys, so we're going to be doing a quick shotgun effect of a bull pick'em show, as we're picking a lot of bulls that majority of the folks around here are probably not familiar with or nor care about, to be honest with you. But at the same time, a winner has to be declared, and I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of especially the names of the bulls I was laughing at earlier in the week. So, for example, if you guys are familiar with the Royal Purple Bull.
No.
I don't even know what Royal Purple is.
It's a cleaning solution.
You know what it is? It's the Prince Bowl.
Good morning, Crash Prince.
It's a cleaning. It's
Purple
a
Rainbow.
Purple Rainbow. Purple Rainbow.
Pretty much, essentially, if you're saying the whatchamacallit, the Oxycontin Bowl or something like. No, that's a drug. Sorry. Anyways,
That's next, though.
You could
The Zaxby's Heart of Dallas Bowl. Zaxby's. It sounds like a place
that really? Is that a real
to
bull,
pick up
man?
children.
Is that a real bull? Oh yeah. Okay.
Welcome to Zaxby's.
All right, guys, let's get to it. Now we'll start with the first bowl, which is at 2 o'clock today. A familiar face will be at the helm of the Arizona Wildcats, Rich Rodriguez, in the Gideon Paint New Mexico Bowl. So I'm going to go right. I'm going to go clockwise. So I'm going to go right all the way around. And so I'm going to pass the mic over here to
Hello
Dave.
from Belarus.
So-
well, hello Belarus. What's up?
Belarus in the
Peace.
house. Nice.
Sweet.
Right, so, all right, we'll start there. Then Los Lobos against the Wildcats. Dave, what do you got?
I know we got to get this in short order here. I think you give Rich Rodriguez. I think he's a better coach people give him credit for. You give him almost a month to plan for a game with a fairly explosive Arizona offense. I like Arizona in this game.
I'll go with Arizona.
Well, I tell you what there, guys. I think I'm going to have to go with the New Mexico Lobos in their home bowl. I mean, it's a home game. It's a home bowl. Everybody's going to be there, and Rich Rod has no chance against the Lobos.
Wow.
They're red and green.
No chance at all.
No chance at all.
Gentlemen, this game should be a shootout. New Mexico's second to last in the Mountain West against the pass. I knew Solomon should have a big day. Neither team plays defense, but I think Arizona outscores New Mexico and probably will be a 90-point game.
It's easy for me. This game's in New Mexico. Give me New Mexico to cover the game. Arizona will win, but New Mexico will cover. Easy.
All right, so that's okay. So New Mexico it is. So we got
What's your pick, Rogelio?
my pick. I go with Arizona. Arizona's played a I think the Pac-12 was up this year. I thought the Pac-12 was a very competitive conference, and New Mexico was in the Mountain West. Kind of self-explanatory, guys.
Don't diss the Mountain West.
It's not the MAC, Pete. So
I'm not
you know.
saying it's better.
Oh my God.
Nah.
The MAC today.
No.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
The next bowl coming up right now is the Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl between.
I'm going all MAC.
It's you might as well call it the Mormon Classic. It's Utah versus BYU. So, Dave, what do you got in this game?
Yeah, who has more wives? I think I'm going to go ahead and take a team that's had a really, really good year, and I think BYU is a little bit fraudulent. That's just my opinion. I like Utah to win this game and actually win it pretty easily.
Well, I think that the senior citizens of BYU are going to come out and sort of stomp their fellow brethren. I mean, it's a battle of Mormons. I mean, what are you going to do? But I think the BYU guys they're a little bit drunker than their fellow youths, so I think it's BYU all the way.
Well, I've dubbed this one the Polygamy Bowl. Utah was 9-3, the Pac-12. I think Utah is the more complete team. I like the Utes.
Utah, even though they beat Michigan, pissed me off. I'm going Utah in this game. What are they favored by? 2.5? Yeah, they're favored by 2.5.
In that range.
You and your lines.
I think they win by 14 easily. Utah.
And I think you're right, Dave. I think in terms of what a fraudulent team has been for BYU, I think overall, what BYU is the fraudulent team. By the way, Ed Miller, who follows us on Twitter, big fan of us. I actually met him last week at Applebee's. Really good guy. He's got our bowl picks. We're going to have a spreadsheet that's going to be posted on the website after 12 o'clock today. If you want to join in and pick your bowls, send it to email at sportsradiodet@gmail.com. Send your picks in, and we'll give you a cool prize. So I'm not going to tell you what the prize is because I haven't thought of it yet. But
Roger's hat.
Yes, my Expos hat. That is
Battery died already?
You know, I don't know about that. Maybe
Autograph it.
I'm just getting your hat there, Roger. I know you hit the camera. It's just your hat.
Oh,
There you go.
They should have won the '94 World Series, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
And here we
poor
go.
Andre Dawson.
And for you guys who are familiar with television, and you guys might get this, the Raycom Media Camellia Bowl. Now, Raycom used
Sounds like
to,
chlamydia.
it sounds like a sexual disease bowl. Well, Raycom used to host a lot of the college football back in the 80s and 90s. So for anybody, geeks out there, Ohio and Appalachian State. Dave, I got. Go ahead. I'm gonna absorb. Oh, by the way, my pick was Utah. So go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and go with some action in this one. I'm gonna go ahead and take Ohio because I think the MAC gets a little too much guff, and I think it's a better conference than people give them credit for. So I'll take Ohio.
I appreciate that, Dave. That's very nice. Isn't that nice? That's just great. Too bad I'm going anti-Mac. The one guy who is always Mac and lives on Mac and thanks you for everything you said. I'm going to go with App State. They're the up-and-coming squad. I mean, far from that. Forget that whole crap that happened back in, 2009. But, or 2010 at the Big House. What year was that? 2009? 7? No, wait. See, I'm bolder than I thought. But anyway.
I remember.
Oh, yeah, you were there in the stands?
No,
Oh,
but it was a tough day.
Oh, Lord Jesus God. Well, I tell you what, App State, I think on the Sun Belt comes out and beats the MAC, unfortunately, I really have to say. Maybe I need a shot.
Well, I think Nebraska still regrets letting Frank Solich leave for Ohio. They went 8-4. They had a nice year, but lost all of their big MAC games to Western, Buffalo, Bowling Green. I think App State's the better team. I too will take the Mountaineers in this one.
That was a good call by Frank Solich.
Oh yeah.
I'd never take Appalachian State. What they did in Michigan in 2007, never. Ohio plus a 7, easy.
And I would agree with Dan there in terms of what Ohio been playing in Alabama, and Appalachian State's been playing in warm. I mean, the weather may not be a factor in this one, but I think Ohio has not played very well in big games, so I wouldn't go with Appalachian State here. Sorry, Fredi, but I think Appalachian State.
Sam Martin's gonna love you.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. Nebraska, it's sent Nebraska a tailspin ever since. The Cure Bowl.
Oh, this is a boomer.
The Cure Bowl, not the Robert Smith The Cure Band, but the
Should
Cure
Michigan
Bowl.
State play in that game? The Cure Bowl?
The Cure Bowl is San Jose State and Georgia State. And you got two teams. Georgia State, I'll be honest with you, I'm not really familiar with, in San Jose
Sun Belt.
State. Sun Belt, no Sun Belt Conference,
Yeah.
okay. Sun Belt coming on strong. Dave,
They had
go
3
ahead.
teams.
Yeah, they do. It's kind of odd, actually. But even though they have 3 teams in, I would say that conference is not very good. They haven't played. Nobody in that conference has played anybody that's of any note. So I'm going to go ahead and take San Diego State in this one. I think that they'll win and win pretty easily.
Well, we all know what poor Steve Fisher has done to San Jose State. Oh, that was San Diego State.
No, it was San Jose.
Yeah, that is San Jose State,
They
yeah.
messed
No,
up.
no, San Diego State.
San
It is San
Diego
Diego
It
State.
is San Diego State. Well, then never mind.
never mind.
Well, then, you know what? Then
I'll
I'll
just
take
shut
the...
up.
That's okay. Hey, you and I both made the same mistake. Then I will take the blue and yellow of San Jose State. I think that they will trounce poor Georgia State. The Mountain West is better than everybody thinks.
I'm with you, Pete. All you're gonna need for this game, the Cure Bowl, is a cure for your indigestion while watching it. Flip a coin. I'll go San Jose State as well.
I'm going Georgia State. Georgia State's pretty good. Don't quote me on this one. I think they destroyed Western Michigan this year. It was either Georgia State or Georgia Southern or who cares? Georgia State.
It was Georgia Southern, Fredi.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Georgia
Yeah,
Southern.
well, who cares then? See, Georgia State. Give me Georgia State plus 2. Easy.
And this is one of those games where we're, Pete and I were talking about this before last week about one of those 5 and 7 teams, San Jose State 5 and 7.
Oh,
Yeah, so on a more serious side though, the Cure Bowl does the money directly raised for this goes towards cancer. So that is a great cause, and for somebody who's lost a parent to cancer, I totally get it, and that's pretty cool. So
Well, don't you think they deserve a better matchup?
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
come on, if
yeah.
it's a cure for cancer,
Yeah,
or
I
a
mean,
cure for anything.
no offense to school's alumni base, but I'm sure they can't generate the funds for that. So.
Well, we'll have
We
to
move
change
on
that.
to the RL Carriers New Orleans Bowl, and that's between Arkansas State and Louisiana Tech, home of Karl Malone. So that's probably the only thing I know about Louisiana Tech
Good call.
outside the great football program they have. David, what do you got on the call?
Well, I don't really have a dog in this fight, other than the fact that these are the Bulldogs, and as a proud Brighton grad, Bulldogs, I'm taking Louisiana Tech.
Nice.
Well, I tell you what, Dennis Leary in 1991, he did what was called No Cure for Cancer. That was his first stand-up, pretty much, that he released. And in it, he did he loved NyQuil. And he said the thing that really got him going was the big, large Q. He could high and stare at the Q. The Q is talking to me. It's like the Arkansas State helmets with the big giant A. It's talking to you. It's Arkansas State all day.
Oh, yeah. Pete, we're in lockstep, I think, so far. Louisiana Tech is a good running back in Kenny Dixon with 83 career touchdowns, but Arkansas State is one of the 2 teams that has beaten Appalachian State, and they did it actually pretty handily. I like Arkansas State in this one, too.
Who'd you take?
The big A, Arkansas State.
I hate to agree with Pete. We agree so much on the pitch show. Give me Arkansas State plus 2.5.
Shebang.
Shebang.
You know, the Arkansas State does have a really sweet, the Red Wolves, which is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, because every school seems like it's the Eagles. But I like David's Brighton. I mean, I don't know when you went to Brighton and was during the glorious time of the football team. Really was a powerhouse, and now the Kensington Lakes Western Conference. I don't know, so many different names now. So I'm gonna go with the Bulldogs here and take the Bulldogs, because that's the only thing I really honestly know about Louisiana Tech outside the Carl Malone reference I just made. We move on to Monday, December 21st, the Miami Beach Bowl, and this is of course a lot of visuals here at this effect for the bowl game. Western Kentucky and South Florida. South Florida playing in their backyard essentially. What do you got in this game?
Western Kentucky actually played a decent schedule this year and won a fair amount of their big games. And you know what? There's a feel-good story for me, so I'm going to take Western Kentucky.
Well, I'll tell you what, Western Kentucky, this is probably the South Florida. Had a pretty good year in the American Conference. Almost won the American Conference, going against a pretty fast offense of Western Kentucky. Out of the town that built the Corvettes, Bowling Green, Kentucky. So, yes.
You're familiar.
Yes, absolutely. Well, no, I'm Bowling Green, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
That's Bowling Green, Ohio. But Bowling Green, Kentucky is where the Corvette was invented, and their offense is just as fast. Give me the Western Kentucky offense all day long.
It's still Bowling Green, Pete.
Yes, one of the many.
USF got bombed by Maryland 35-17 earlier this year, while Western Kentucky's Brandon Doughty has thrown for 45 touchdowns. Plus, you got the Jack Harbaugh connection. I'm going with the Hilltoppers here.
You said it perfectly. I'm going with the Hilltoppers because you know what? They dominate when they play in the Sweet 16. They made it to the Sweet 16 a couple of times. So give me Hilltoppers. What's the spread in this game?
You like the spread.
I love spread. Forget it.
Like Nutella?
It doesn't matter.
Minus 2.5. Give me the Hilltoppers. There's some degenerate gamblers out there. Give them the spread.
You know what's funny about this game is it's going to be at Marlins Park in Miami, and Marlins Park is an ugly game, or ugly field to me. It's the most gaudiest thing on earth.
Now, does the dolphin little thing, light up for all touchdowns?
Yeah,
or
that's a good question. And I think that, last year's game was BYU Memphis, and that was a shootout, 55-48. So I think it's going to be an ugly game in an ugly ballpark. And let me take Western Kentucky with that. So that's my.
I love the Jack Harbaugh.
Yeah,
Jack Harbaugh.
Pretty much about right.
So we go on to Tuesday, December 22nd, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. All right. It's pretty face.
What's going on?
That's
All
my
right, so
people's bowl.
I'm just laughing because this is the name of these bowls. The Ass Hat Bowl. Okay, so Akron and Utah State. Mac Love against. Utah State's in the
Mountain West.
Mountain West.
Yes.
Mountain West. So, all right, David, who do you got on this game?
That's a big matchup.
Pete, once again, I'm a big fan of the MAC. I think they could have better at. But what I have to say is, every big game that the Zips played this year, they got trounced.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and take Utah State to win this game and really win it without a lot of trouble.
How far the mighty have fallen in poor Terry Bowden, who has been banished to poor Akron, But, that's what a good drinking game will get you. A nice spot at Akron, and just keep drinking. He's got his buddy Frank Solich down there to share a few shots with. So, good game to get drunk afterwards because Utah State's going to beat the hell out of them.
I just wonder what their drink of choice is there, Pete. And the Zips are in their first bowl game since 2005. Utah State is playing in the Starch Bowl for the 3rd time in 5 years. Experience wins. I'll take the Aggies.
That's the correct research team right there.
I'm taking Utah State. We all taking Utah State?
Yeah,
I'm taking Utah. Clean sweep here. I think you're taking Utah State.
Yeah, because the Zips, nah, they don't have any Zips.
I'm
sorry.
We go pick the
Aggies
Zips
all
this
day.
year.
Aggies have played in a tougher conference
Poor Kangaroos.
in terms of what their competition has looked like in terms of favorably scheduled. So I'll give the Aggies all day long.
I would give a case of Zip sauce a better chance than that.
Oh,
Akron,
yeah.
Zips off.
Akron could be the
On
future
point.
home of Brady Hope.
All right.
Just saying.
This
So-
is my favorite bowl coming up.
Okay, so coming up right now
The
is
home of Jerry's parents.
the Boca Raton Bowl, the Marriott or Mermat Boca Raton Bowl. So basically, the Senior Citizens Bowl, essentially, because I think of Boca Raton, I think of
Yeah.
Boca Girls, right? For some strange reason.
You can't even pronounce the sponsors, so
Yeah.
it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, Mermat. I can't pronounce a lot of things. And, maybe I'm in the long.
I don't know it either,
Yeah.
so I'm not any better.
Yeah, it's the Senior Citizen Bowl essentially. It's the Rockets of Toledo against the Temple Owls, who Temple's had a great season. A lot of they're getting back. They're top 25 at one point too, as well. David, what do you got in this game?
You know, I really like the Owls. I think they had a great year. Then that Notre Dame game, I know they lost, but they really impressed me in that game. I think they played a lot better than people expected them to.
Yep.
And as good as Toledo was, I think Temple wins this game, and I'll give them about 7 on that one.
Well, as Dave goes downhill with Maction, I go uphill with Maction. Even though Matt Campbell left for Iowa State, the OC that took over there is absolutely beloved by the remaining players that are still there. The whole team is behind them 100%. Temple did have a great season, almost won the American Conference. But Toledo, bottom of the top 25 pretty much all season long. They do it again and get the job done against Temple in the Mormat, whatever it is, the home of Jerry's parents.
The Marley
Boca
Matlin Bowl.
Raton, Phase 10, Cora Gables.
Did he leave the Iowa State, the Toledo coach?
Yeah, Matt Campbell,
Yeah.
he's gone to Iowa State. Yeah, so give me Toledo to win this one.
I think this is going to be an underrated ball game. I think that you could have a hell of a matchup in this game. Both of these teams, as you said, Roger, were ranked in the top 25 at some point this year. Temple was able to beat Memphis and only lost to Notre Dame by 4. And even though they decided to give Bill Cosby an honorary degree, I'm still going to take the Owls in this one because they've had a hell of a year. I'll take Temple.
That's a good call.
Well, you're going to find a common theme here. The next four games we call are the MAC. So I'm going to be sticking with the MAC here. Temple had a cute little year. I know Notre Dame, they fell asleep at the wheel there, but give me Toledo to win this game big. Big.
Ooh, big, he said.
Wow.
Big.
And
Big as that Mike.
again, I think out of all the
Bigger the
games
better.
we've announced so far, I think this is going to be the most entertaining game because I think both teams are, especially Temple against Notre Dame, was a really good game to watch. The Rockets have played in a very tough schedule and overall in the MAC. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give some action. My buddy Brian is a alum of the Rockets, and I'm in the game to a glass bowl. If you guys get a chance to go, it's a really good time. So
Well, I'll tell you what, Roger, I think that New Mexico Bowl might be the highest scoring of the ones we've done this so far.
That's
So if you
true.
like scoring, you're going to like that game.
yeah, and the Toledo Temple game is gonna be. I think it's gonna be a lot more slugfest. It's gonna be one of those but it's gonna be an entertaining game.
Quality
So,
football.
Quality football. And this game cracks me up because it's a San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl, and there was a ESPN I know BYU used to play this game quite a bit in the '80s, and they did almost like a highlights of the Poinsettia Bowl, and I was just thinking to myself outside of Jim McMahon, who's playing a Poinsettia Bowl that I could think of, and it's always the same teams, but this time around it looks a little different as Boise State takes on Northern Illinois, another MAC team. Northern Illinois playing one of the better schedules in the MAC. Boise State, a little down, not as prevalent as they have been in the past, so considering when they were 4 or 5 years ago, David, where are you going to see this game go?
Roger, I couldn't agree with you more. I think Boise State was down this year. I think Northern Illinois, as you stated, played one of the toughest schedules in the MAC this year and played very well. Also, they have a former Michigan State assistant coach as their basketball coach. Give me that connection. I'm going to take Northern Illinois and go with the MAC.
Oh boy, I love it. I love it. Dave going with a MAC just when I'm about to go against the MAC. Unbelievable. This is craziness, man. I tell you what, Boise State, again, Mountain West, always been the kings of the Mountain West lately. Not the best of seasons, but they're going up against a Northern Illinois team with their 4th string quarterback at the helm. He is 17 years old. I saw him at the MAC championship game, and the guy can play. but he's a stick figure, and he needs to spend, you know, the summer at McDonald's, and he'll be good. I'm telling you, in about 3 years, you'll see this kid, but he's still 3 years away. Give me Boise State to romp.
17 going on 12.
Yeah, pretty much.
Northern Illinois is kind of an enigma. They lost 20-13 to Ohio State, obviously with a different quarterback at the helm, and I think Ohio State fell asleep a little bit in that game. They were able to beat Toledo. They've lost 2 in a row and just got bombed by Bowling Green in the MAC championship game. Though these are not Kellen Moore's Broncos. Though these aren't Kellen Moore's Broncos, I am going to go with Boise State as well.
So good we got a Kellen Moore reference in this show.
Yeah.
Well, if you ask
I
me,
gotta fit it in.
if you ask me, they got the spread all wrong. Boise State -8. Northern Illinois is a good team, man. They could be in the Big Ten if you ask me, but they're stuck in the MAC. So give me Northern Illinois +8, but they're going to win this game.
Now, I mean, the way there's been some previews written out that the MAC champions in rebuilding mode with Bowling Green losing head coach Garbers while Georgia Southern, the neighbors, thank you. Georgia Southern is in its first bowl game in program history. So I'm sorry, I think that, or I'm skipping ahead. I'm skipping ahead a little bit.
What was your
Sorry.
pick of
Who's your
Boise
pick
State,
on that
Northern
game?
Illinois, by the way?
That's what I was looking at the GoDaddy Bowl ahead.
Aha!
I'm going Northern Illinois. I think that Boise State's in rebuilding mode, and I think that I was jumping ahead because I'm kind of gonna make Pete mad here in a second.
It's early, Roger.
No
we understand.
problem.
Yeah,
skip
I know you can't wait to make me mad, so go ahead. Go to the GoDaddy.com.
All right, let's go to the GoDaddy Bowl. Who, by the way, thank you for serving or being a website provider. Thank you, GoDaddy. So, Georgia Southern and Bowling Green. Georgia Southern making their first bowl appearance. Bowling Green been here before, MAC champions. So it's return to the MAC. No one got that 90s reference, but it's okay. It's early. David, you got the call.
Seeing as I give zero respect to the Sun Belt Conference, I do not think Georgia Southern played a very tough schedule. Just my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
Definitely, as I've stated a couple times already, big Mac fan. Love the Mac. Got to go with
I like
Bowling
Big
Green in this
Macs
one.
too, Dave. They're pretty
Yeah,
delicious.
Big Macs are the
Pretty
best.
delicious
absolutely.
sandwich.
Well,
they beat
I-
the Whopper 10 days a week.
I don't think that it's any clue as to who I'm choosing. I'll just keep the camera right there for right now. All I have to say is All-American first team Alex Hoytel on the offensive line, second team All-American Matt Johnson, and second team All-American wide receiver Roger Lewis on the offense. Give me the Bowling Green offense to romp the awesome helmets of Georgia Southern.
And you will not get a better breakdown of Bowling Green than you just got.
That's very true, and they do. And Georgia Southern does have awesome helmets. I've dubbed this one the Danica Patrick Plaid Thong Bowl. This is the first bowl game in history for Georgia Southern. Bowling Green's a pretty solid team. I'm actually going to ride the MAC on this one. By the way, is every MAC team in a bowl game this year?
Yes,
Seems
yes,
like it.
all seven. Seems like it is,
All
yeah.
seven.
This is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, this one's being renamed the Go Slip Repeat Bowl game.
That's right, baby.
In honor of Bowling Green. Listen, Matt Johnson, future Lions second round, or not second round,
Fourth
backup
rounder.
backup quarterback.
Don't
Give
curse
me,
the kid.
give me Bowling Green. Bowling Green's gonna romp them. Who the hell is Georgia Southern?
Here's the thing about Georgia Southern that comes into mind.
I'll tell you who they are.
I'm looking at this from a statistical point of view. They have given up. The Georgia State or the Georgia Southern secondary is a team that has allowed 200 yards or more in 6 of the first 7 games. And with Johnson out there airing it out, honestly, it's Bowling Green's going to be winning a romp because I think Georgia Southern, all they can do is run. They can't pass at all. It's a team that relies heavily on the run, and you can stack 8 guys in the box, stop the run pretty easily. And I know that, mind you, Bowling Green doesn't have a really good run defense, but I think Georgia Southern has played a team of the caliber of the MAC. And I know it's weird for me to even say that. That's just actually muttered out of my mouth, but the MAC does look like a pretty good conference here in this case. So.
Real quick, just in honor of what's going to happen during the GoDaddy.com Bowl, Matty J, this is for you.
What was that?
That's what Matt Johnson does after every touchdown. It's a bow and arrow.
He never tweeted us back, did he?
Nah, he didn't. That's all right. What are you
Thank you.
joking?
It reminded me of Ted Nugent and Fred Bear. For some reason, it reminded me of Fred Bear and Ted Nugent. But, anyways.
Anyway.
All right, we're going to take a small
Didn't do
break. We'll be back in just a second, but we don't want to take a word from our sponsors. Thanks to our friends at the Brent Law Group. Now let's talk about tax preparation. Yawn, of course, but the Brent Law Firm got you covered. So right now, take advantage of his special to the end of January. Couples, businesses who pre-register for tax preparation will save as much as 30% off regular pricing. 30%. That money goes towards a worthless PS4 game. or maybe a blender your wife wants, or maybe she wants a nice little piece of jewelry or something. Take that 30% off and have your taxes prepared by a professional without leaving your home. So you can do it in your pajamas while you're listening to us. Contact the Brent Law Firm Group at 248-291-7253. Mention Sports Radio Detroit and my statistic or my really bad female buying wife a blender comment, and you'll get 30% off. So thanks to our friends again at the Brent Law Group, and they want to wish everybody out there a happy holidays. So
30% off, cool.
30% off,
All right.
and Daniel Brent and his brother do very good work. So Daniel Brent Law Group at 248-291-7253.
Can we now talk about the worst combination for a bowl? I mean, fried chicken in the Bahamas. When I think of the Bahamas, I don't think of fried chicken. Can we talk about? I mean,
That should have been the Danica Patrick platform.
Yeah, absolutely. They were popping
So-
a big bucket
When
of
they
chicken.
smoke a lot of weed down there, they eat some
Yeah.
fried chicken.
Apparently
This
so.
is actually, you know what? This actually makes sense. The stoner's dream come true here. The Popeyes Bahamas Bowl. That lady, I guarantee you, that lady's gonna be
Kentucky
like,
Fried Chicken will never sponsor us.
no, the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl, and I can see that.
Popeyes.
Who's that woman? Who's that woman that does the commercial? What's her? Do we know her name?
No idea. I don't-
Lucy Alafast.
Oh yeah, she's down there cooking up the spices.
Mama Bryant?
She's cooking up her spices, ready to go.
Well, no, that actress, I forgot her name. Actually, it's an actress, so she doesn't cook in the kitchen.
Oh.
Sorry to ruin the mystique of you guys. By the way, Popeyes does serve some really good chicken tenders. I'm not gonna lie.
Are we sponsoring Popeyes?
I was gonna say,
No.
did they pay to sponsor on SRD?
No, just
send us a check.
you
That'd
know.
be great.
We need a check, please. Thank
Yeah.
you. You could send it right.
So
right
the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl, Middle Tennessee against the Western Michigan Broncos. David, go ahead and start this strange experience into the Bahamas.
Well, let me just say, nobody needs to go to the middle of Tennessee. There's nothing there. So, and also, all kidding aside, I actually really like the Broncos. I thought they looked much better than the result against Michigan State at the beginning of the year. I really like Zach Terrell. I think he's actually a pretty dang good quarterback, and they have a couple of receivers that can run all over the place. Both 1,000-yard receivers this year. I like Western Michigan in a rout in this game.
Braverman.
One of those wide receivers would be Daniel Braverman, absolutely, who had an absolutely wonderful year. But, all I have to really pretty much say is row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, and there's lots of water in the Bahamas. So all day long, row your boat over the Blue Raiders, and who Bowling Green plays next year, so Western Michigan's going to soften them
The
up.
next
yeah.
head coach.
Well,
Fleck.
PJ Fleck, PJ Fleck's a hell of a football coach. Middle Tennessee has lost to teams that are far worse than Western. I'm with you, Pete. Row that boat, but row it a little harder than just gently down the street.
Who did they play? Middle Tennessee?
Middle
The
Tennessee.
Blue Raiders.
Why not sideways Tennessee?
No.
Pete.
Why don't you
This
come down
one-
to Bowling Green with me next year to see them?
This one's, I will.
There
This
you go.
one's easy for me. My wife went to Western Michigan. She got a doctorate in physical therapy. So for my beautiful wife, I'm taking Western Michigan around. Easy. -3.
There you go.
And Middle Tennessee is 7-4 against the spread, but I'm gonna see Western Michigan all day long. They're both 7-5 teams. Again, one of those bowls that kind of. It's 11 a.m. on Christmas Eve, so kick off your Christmas Eve with some. Oh, okay. So
Freddie,
lots of
Freddie,
hang on.
Freddie, I like that PJ Fleck to Notre Dame, by the way. That's actually a solid choice.
Because
Yeah.
Brian Kelly's coming to Detroit.
There you go.
Oh, my
That's
My,
a solid
my,
choice.
Brian,
Solid choice.
no, Brian Kelly.
Wait. Turn up the mic. Turn up his mic.
That's a different show for a different time.
Yeah. So here's another bowl in a very warm climate. Is the Hawaii Bowl? Hawaii
As
Bowl.
a former Bowling Green coach who was born in Hawaii, Dino Baber says Hawaii.
Hawaii. I just think of. Anyways, okay, it's too early. All right, now it's the team. It's the team that.
Let me get Roger some coffee.
Yeah, I probably.
It's the
you know
hula
what,
skirt
Ryan,
bowl.
Ryan, give me a
Have a
coke.
sip.
Ryan, give me a coke. That'd be really appreciated.
His video. I gotta wait for a commercial.
All right, so
I'll
yeah.
take care of your Coke for
All
you.
right, Ryan, thank you, Pete. Pete provided me with the caffeine because I'm failing miserably at the moment. San Diego State against Cincinnati. So
Don't trip,
the
'cause I'll
team that
laugh
Pete
my ass
mentioned
off.
earlier. Two teams that are Cincinnati. Again, it seemed like, and David, correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like Cincinnati was national prominence in some sort in the last few years ago, and now they're just doing the Hawaii Bowl.
Yeah, who's their coach now? Bubba Watson? No, I'm just kidding. But
Might as well be.
they probably do as good a job. Yeah. Cincinnati struggled this year, and they're on, I think, their third string quarterback now, who in his first game threw for like 500 yards and then threw for a total of 400 the next 3 combined. I don't think Cincinnati stands a chance. I think San Diego State wins this game and does it without really too much trouble.
Steve Fisher. Poor Steve Fisher. You know, the curse of Steve Fisher.
He's 90 now?
Absolutely, and he still wants to coach.
I
Just
know.
go drink, have fun with your life. Cincinnati did not have the best season in the American Conference. Give me another Mountain West team to have fun on the island. Give me San Diego State all day.
Got a lot of love for that Mountain West
Yeah,
today.
I didn't realize you love the Mountain West so much. I mean, but I'm with you here because I think San Diego State controls the ball with one of the more underrated running backs in the country in Donnell Pumphrey. Over 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns this season. I will take the Aztecs.
Well, I picked this game for one reason. Do I want to live in Cincinnati or do I want to live in San Diego? Give me San Diego State.
It's beautiful town.
What's the weather like in San Diego today? 75 and sunny.
Exactly.
Plus 1.5 San Diego States.
And the only thing about San Diego that I just watched the South Park episode, which is not appropriate for us to mention. I just watched the episode. I think the Aztecs all day long. The Aztecs just seem to be. I think they're going to be better prepared for this game. Cincinnati. Yeah, it's Cincinnati. It's not the team that was once, top 25 team in the last few years. They've just kind of fallen off a little bit. So I'm gonna go take the Aztecs all day long. Saturday, the day after Christmas, the St. Petersburg Bowl between Connecticut and Marshall. Again, two teams that Connecticut, who I gotta admit, has rebounded quickly after Randy Edsel or Edsel. Anyways,
It's Randy
Edsel.
Edsel.
I had it right. Okay.
Drink some Coca-Cola.
All right, after he left, and they've rebounded pretty well. They're in the St. Petersburg Bowl, although you can't sit there and say they've rebounded well if they're in that bowl, but I digress. It's Marshall. David, who do you got?
Oh, I was waiting for this one. Well, first of all, any team that produces Dan Orlovsky gets no love from me.
Wow.
That's
Kellen
first
Moore
and
and
foremost.
Dan Orlovsky in the same show.
I know, right? We love the Lions here, don't we?
You know what? I wish I had a bell at the bing.
That's true.
But in all kidding aside, the reason that I like Marshall in this game is that Connecticut, the schedule they played, while a decent schedule, they lost every big game that they were in and did not really play very well in any of them. And I just like the Thundering Herd, man. I always have. It's gonna be Marshall.
Yeah, the Thundering Herd came on at the end of the season, man. Absolutely. You know, former Mid-American Conference team went to
Right
the
here.
went to the old Conference USA.
See, Roger,
after they
when you asked-
left the Mid-American Conference, and they've been doing pretty well. There you go. There's your bell. They've been doing pretty well. They finished the season pretty strong. I say the Thundering Herd, thunder all over the good UConn boys.
Well, UConn is the 17th ranked defense in the FBS. They gave Houston fits, in fact, beat them. I don't think the Huskies turn the ball over. I think they control it, and in a really crappy game. I like the Huskies in a low-scoring one here.
Listen, I don't give a damn about this game if you ask me. So give me Connecticut minus the 4. That's all I can tell you.
Dan Orlovsky versus Byron Leftwich.
Oh boy. And Chad Pennington. And Chad Pennington.
Yeah, but he's a former Jets.
When we talk former Lions, there you go.
Randy Mouse.
Randall Moss. Heisman Trophy.
I will say this: I think Connecticut can't really. Their offense really kind of struggled throughout the season. So Marshall, give me Marshall all day long. I think Connecticut's gonna get blown out.
Yeah, that 9-6 ball game against Missouri. That was a barn burner.
Yeah, that was sexy. The Hyundai Sun Bowl between Miami and Washington State. Miami coming with a lot of momentum actually with the new hire, new coach. They got, and I think it's kind of. I really think there's going to be a lot of changes coming in Miami. And this is the last time we can see them in a really crappy bowl like this. And this is my opinion, of course. So I mean, we have an alum heading up the program. It does a lot. So Miami and Washington State. David, go ahead.
No, I'm actually going the opposite of you in terms of giving the rec to the new coach there, Mark Richt. I think there's a little bit of turmoil going on in Miami, and obviously they don't have him in place yet to coach that game. And so I actually think Washington State played pretty dang well this year. When you look at their record, they gave Stanford fits, they gave Cal fits, they won in overtime against Oregon. They played a pretty good schedule. I like Washington State to win this game pretty handily.
Thank God you said that, Dave. Thank God. Absolutely. The team with the absolutely worst uniforms in FBS. The red and gray of Washington State. Poor Miami.
Right.
I mean, Washington State coming off a loss in the Apple Bowl to their rivals. I mean, not to, Rick Leach, had another shot of hemoglobin after
Mike
that.
Leach.
Come on,
And
man.
then some melatonin.
And maybe some melatonin on top of that too, but Washington State ready to go. I mean, they're going to crush Miami.
I think this could be a barn burner. You've got a pretty good quarterback matchup. Neither team plays defense. Here's an interesting stat for you, Roger. Get ready to ring that bell. Combined 18 years since these teams have last won a bowl game. 5 straight wins for Miami.
So you're saying there's a chance?
It's a tie.
The corpse of Ryan Leaf is not walking through that door for Washington State.
Get out of my face! Get out of my face! San Diego.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Knock it off!
Miami's a dumpster fire of a program right now, but things are looking up for them. I'm gonna take the U in this one. I really am. Maybe I'm gonna regret that
Jimmy
one.
Johnson's not walking through that door.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what? Roger said it perfectly. The momentum. Miami has been playing well. They got blown out by Clemson. Blown out.
And Fredi, just to add on to it too, what you're going to say, they're 4-1 since interim Larry Scott took over.
Yes, they are. After the blowout, you're right. They got rid of that guy with the tie.
Even that strange game against
El
the
guy with the tie.
El Golden.
Yeah.
Listen, I've already said it. I've been on the record for 3 years that Brian Kelly will be the next Lions head coach. Well, this guy right here, Mike Leach, the head coach for Washington State.
Don't put him in a locker.
He'll be our offensive coordinator. I love him. I loved him when he was at Texas Tech. But Miami wins this game, -3.
I'm going to go with Miami. Mike Leach is a guy who came under fire for his tactics, putting people in lockers, including the son of, I forgot the guy's name,
Putting people in lockers.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember doing that in high school.
Yeah.
Bully you.
Yeah.
You big bully.
I was the one in the locker though.
So,
exactly right.
I'll go Miami. I'll go the U all day long. My sister.
Momentum.
By the way, fun fact about Miami is I grew up as a Hurricanes fan because my sister was from Miami, and we had the starter jackets with the Hurricane stuff on it. I had the hat with the rhinestones. Remember when hats had rhinestones on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm 34.
You were styling.
Who is the Luke Skywalker? Who is the band? Ryan?
Which one?
You know, in the 80s.
Yes, we're filming for YouTube as well.
I'm good with music. Go ahead.
You know, Luke Skywalker. What's the name of the group?
Luke Skywalker.
No!
Let's roll
Big old
on.
no, God, come on. You don't even
I
know.
told Sir Miss-a-Lot?
No!
I told Uncle Luke?
No!
No,
that's
is
anybody
anybody
in
what
the
Freddy's
band.
talking
Yeah, Two
about
Live
out
Crew.
there.
This is not working
Two
anymore.
Live Crew,
Yeah,
yeah.
you ruined the bell. I broke it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay,
Move on.
we're getting totally off topic here. We have many more bowls to do.
Let's go.
The Heart of Dallas Bowl, Washington, Southern Miss. Dave, go.
Zaxby's.
Yeah, we're gonna have to speed this
I didn't
up.
want to pick this because of that name. No, in all seriousness though, Washington obviously has the worst has the worst record of these two teams, but Southern Miss doesn't play anybody. Washington played a much tougher schedule. They're going to be hardened by their year. Give me the Huskies in this one.
Oh my goodness sakes! I mentioned the Apple Bowl earlier. Well, the winners of the Apple Bowl are in Zaxby's. There it is. I love it. The Heart of Dallas Bowl in the heart of Dallas.
In the
Washington
heart of
gets
Texas.
it done in their gold helmets.
Oh my goodness. Southern Miss is on a major upswing, actually. Todd Monken has done a great job. He's gone from 1 win to 3 to now 9. I like the Golden Eagles to roll in this one. Give me Southern Miss.
You know what? I agree with you, sir. They're an underrated team. Southern Miss is pretty good, and plus they're plus 8.5. I think they got this spread wrong. Give me Southern Miss to cover this game all day.
Or did they get it right? Because they want everybody to pick against them.
Ooh.
Vegas knows how to do it.
Vegas is good.
Right,
Helios?
I'm going to go with Southern Miss. I'll take Southern Miss on that game.
Golden Eagles.
The New Era Pinstripe Bowl, which is, I believe, in New York.
Yes.
Yankee Stadium.
The Hoosiers of Indiana against Duke, who got screw job by Miami, WWE style. What do you got in this game, David?
I might be making a mistake here, but I'm sticking with my Big Ten love, and me and Dan have talked about this many times. I love me some Nate Sudfeld. Love me some Nate Sudfeld.
Steal my thunder, Dave.
I
That's
know.
it.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take Indiana, who as much as they don't play defense, I think they're gonna get enough offense in this game to get the win.
I tell you what, Indiana going up against a sort of middle of the road ACC bowl team. Duke, had their year last year. Indiana almost beat Ohio State, almost beat Michigan State, almost beat Iowa. Give me Indiana to finally get the job done in their nice bowl game.
Yeah, Duke had a cute year last year. The big question mark here is, will Jordan Howard play? He's questionable for this game as of right now. I also, like Dave, have a man crush on Nate Sudfeld. I think he's going to play on Sundays. Indiana's close. They're a team that needs to get a little but I think Indiana wins this one. Sudfeld goes off.
Yeah, Freddie, you said Matt Johnson. Me and Dan both put our vote in for Nate Sudfeld as
Sudfeld.
next line back
that's
from
not,
QB.
that's not a bad pick. Listen, I got the producer buzzing in my ear. Hurry the F up, guys. I'm a David Cutcliffe fan, so the head coach of Duke, so give me Duke to win this game. Plus the 2.
I got Indiana based off the running back situation. They have a good running game, and if he's healthy, Indiana's going to run all over him. The Campbell World Independence Bowl, Tulsa, Virginia Tech. Personally, I don't care, but then this is a game where I don't care. Go ahead.
Very simple.
Well, come on now, Frank Beamer going on a high note.
Yeah, that's
Gotta,
pretty big. Yeah.
gotta take Virginia Tech. That's
Is
as
he coaching
simple as
that
that.
game? Is he coaching that
he
game?
is.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you
His
what,
last game was great.
Frank Beamer can take his little high note and take the next train out of town because my beloved niece, Megan Spivak, who's the head of cheerleading for Tulsa in her senior year,
Oh,
her
Tulsa's-
final year, exactly, her final year, her final game, she ain't going out a loser.
Oh
The
my.
gold helmets of the Golden Hurricane will run all over Vatek.
Well, as long as Pete's niece doesn't get into the game. 2 words. Frank Beamer. Vatek's motivated. I'll take the Hokies.
Yeah, this is simple. Listen, your niece, she's not going out loser, but Tulsa's losers. Give me Virginia Tech minus 13.5.
And for one of our radio heroes,
And
Dan,
Frank Beamer,
Virginia Tech all
30
day
years,
long.
baby.
So
Drew Lane's Virginia Tech Hokies.
yeah,
yeah,
we'll take
that's
Tech,
right.
Drew
Good
Lane.
call.
So
Hell of a
look at
coach.
Foster's Farms Bowl.
Come on down to Foster Farms.
Oh, Foster Farms, y'all!
We got range-free eggs here. Range-free.
UCLA and Nebraska, 2 teams that were now or were has been or were been now or
We got
have
cottage
been.
cheese, we got curdled cheese.
Curdled cottage cheese.
Whatever we all need. Let's go, Dave.
I think that's all we need out of this game.
Yep, that's
No, you know what? You know what? Sticking with my Big Ten here, Nebraska's a better team than their record. Played tough against some tough competition in the Big Ten. I'm taking Nebraska to go out on a high note this year.
Well, we all know what happens when Big Ten teams go out to the West Coast. Even if it's Nebraska, I know they're sort of central, the old Big 12 country, if you will. 5 and 7 Nebraska got there because they all opened their books this year, so that's good for them. But give me the gold helmets of the Pac-12 and UCLA.
Well, Foster Farms sounds like the setting for a bad Stephen King book. I can't pick a 5 and 7 Nebraska team. And really, that's just the only reason. And plus, Josh Rosen's a pretty good quarterback. He turns it on, and the Bruins win this one handily.
Hey Ryan, zoom in that camera on me. Nebraska, they beat Michigan State this year, right? Right there. Give me UCLA plus minus a 6.5.
Go ahead and give me
Sorry,
UCLA for the same reason Dan said. I can't vote for a 5 and 7 team. Just can't. So we go to Monday, December 28th, the Military Bowl.
Which is my birthday, by the way.
Nice.
Happy
Turn,
birthday, sir.
turn 39 there.
Thank you, sir.
39.
I'll be 41.
I was
my
being,
favorite number.
being generous.
I was going to say 27.
You gotta count the rings on my bald head. Thank you.
Which is how many points UCLA is going to score in that game.
The Military Bowl presented by Northrop Grumman, who by the way is a
Dave, you're a Michigan State
they're
guy,
a
right?
military company,
I know you're
government
thinking
contract
like,
company.
we're in the Final Four
Pittsburgh
anyway,
and
so.
Navy. So it seems kind of fitting. Pat Nartuzzi in his first bowl appearance against Navy. Navy coming off the win over Army. What do you got in this game?
You know what? This one's tough for me because obviously as a state guy, I love myself some Pat Narduzzi, and I think he's going to have that Pitt program playing pretty darn well.
Yeah.
And that really, they had a good year this year. But Military Bowl, Navy, I think has one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the nation. I think if he was in any other school, he would be a Heisman candidate this year.
Oh, Heisman winner, in my
Is he
opinion.
eligible
and
for the draft?
He's a hell of a player, and Navy is a hell of a program. So I'm going to take Navy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Dave! You literally stole my thunder on it. And also, let me add to what you just said. I can't go against future veterans. Give me the goats and the Rams of Navy.
Well, Narduzzi's got Pitt playing some pretty good defense, and I was going to talk a little Keenan Reynolds here too, but Dave already did all that for me. But here you go. Navy will win 11 games for the first time in its 123-year history. I'll take the midshipman here.
Wow, nice.
Well, Navy's become my team this year, but you know what? Pat Narduzzi's Italian, so give me Pittsburgh to win this game, and it's they're plus 3.5, by the way.
I'll take the midshipman as well. I think Navy has played a very good schedule, and I think overall you know,
I'm the only one to take Pittsburgh.
yeah, you only want to take Pittsburgh, but I mean, as much as I love Pat Narduzzi and what he's done so far in a short time with the Panthers, it's Navy.
Special
So,
shout out and a get well to James Conner, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Tough situation for that kid.
The quick lane bowl, Central Michigan and Minnesota. Minnesota playing some teams tough and then just losing badly. They're a head scratching team. Central Michigan has done a pretty good job, all things considering, in the MAC, with them kind of under the radar a little bit this year. But what do you got in this game, David?
You know, the one thing I like about Central is I love their quarterback, Cooper Rush. Watched him all through high school.
Stop
at
doing
Catholic. Love that kid. But Minnesota, I think, actually seemed to come together a bit under Tracy Claeys, and I think they're playing pretty decent football at the end of the year. I think Minnesota's going to win this ballgame.
I think CMU at Ford Field is always dangerous. We all know that during the Dan Lefevre years, they sold out their bowl game back during the Motor City Bowl game.
That's a
during
reset.
The Pizza Bowl game, whatever it was. I think it was Motor City back then. But give me CMU to travel well, Cooper Rush to throw 4 touchdowns in this game over Minnesota 5-7.
Yeah, Coop may actually be able to play on Sundays. 3,700 plus yards and 25 touchdowns. The Gophers are 5-7. Fire up, Chips.
Who doesn't remember that Chips Purdue game? Remember back and forth?
That's what I'm talking about.
Cooper Rush, I said 2 years ago, the kid's going to be starting the NFL. Give him about 3 years, he'll be starting the NFL. Give me Central Michigan this game plus a 6 all day. Minnesota shouldn't even be there.
If he didn't play at Central, he'd be being talked about like Connor Cook.
Exactly. But you know
100%.
why he's at Central? Because he was able to start without being benched in his first 2 years. Thank God.
Watching Minnesota do the crap the bed with going to the Michigan-Minnesota game this year, watching Minnesota crap the bed and the poor coaching decisions, I'm going with Central Michigan.
He got an extension for it.
Oh, Tracy Claeys.
Tracy Claeys decides to not,
What a
doesn't
boomer.
realize, only 15 seconds off the clock. For the sake of time, Lockheed Martin on Forces Bowl, California Air Force. David, go.
I'm going to text Anthony.
I'm going with Pete's line of thinking here with not going against the military. Give me Air Force.
Absolutely. You don't go against the veterans,